Welcome to Business Math. Today happens to be Friday, February 7th. And a couple things. One of them is when I see a real-life math problem, especially if it's not going to take too long to show you, a couple of things. I'll see if I can get time maybe to show you one or two. Couple of real-life math problems. How many of you ever at least have seen or aware of the show Biggest Loser? Raise your hand. All right, so you're at least aware of the show. And of course,
Dr. G,
yes, go ahead.
I can't hardly hear you.
Okay, you're going to have somebody turn up the volume on that end then, because I don't think I have that control on this end. But anyway, the premise is, hey, you lose the most weight and you win. Now, mathematically, this could be done in a variety of ways. Okay? You can analyze this mathematically in a variety of ways. So let's go over here. And one way you could analyze this is you could just say most pounds lost wins. All right? That's one way you can analyze it. Most pounds lost wins. All right? Now, in fact, every system out there that is designed, it will favor in one way, shape, or form somebody. So I'm starting with the premise that it's virtually impossible to create a system that is absolutely fair. In fact, I was privileged. My wife is really into the show, okay? And so when she found out that one of the former Biggest Loser winners was going to speak at the Northwestern alumni banquet, and since we're supporters of Northwestern, I mean, it's not like we only give $100 a year, but hey, so it's something. But so we get to go to this alumni banquet for free, and so she got to hear one of the Biggest Losers speak. And he let people ask all kinds of questions. It was my wife really enjoyed it, and so did I. Because anywhere my wife is, I enjoy being in that place. So he explained a lot of it. For example, because see, things that I thought of about cheating, like drinking a whole bunch of water, right before you weigh in or whatever. And boy, they have those things pretty well covered. They do. But back to this, by the way, if you've ever watched the show, most pounds lost wins. Is that the designation of the winner? Does anybody know? Is that the way it works? The one that whoever wins the most pounds wins?
Yes.
Rachel, you get 2 points for your good participation. All right, anybody else want to take a stab?
Oh, it's who looks the sexiest.
It's who likes the sexiest. John D. I like yours. And in fact, that could be a designation of a winner. In that case, I'd never have a chance. Who looks the sexiest? That could be a criteria. Now, that would be an interesting one to quantify mathematically, wouldn't it? Who looks the sexiest? And that could be done by voting and so forth and so on. But my question is, this one right in here, whoever loses the most pounds wins. And that is not the case. Anybody want to tell me what is the designation of the winner? It's not whoever loses the most pound wins.
It's the percentage of weight loss.
It's the percentage pounds lost, so it's percent pounds lost of original weight. All right. So it would make sense that now this would make total sense. In fact, it would make total sense under this one or this one here. It would make total sense that if as soon as you found out you were going to be a Biggest Loser contestant, as soon as you found out, what should you do, Courtney? No, don't let you. Well, see, you're so. You are so gorgeous. Of course you wouldn't know. See, I have to take one of us. See, there are certain words that I cannot say around my grandchildren. One of them is the word. It's the F word. You know what the F word is? Fat. I can't say that word around my grandchildren. That my daughter won't let me say that word. She won't let me say fat, moron, idiot, stupid. She has these banned words around my grandchildren. And I asked my daughter, I said, who raised you anyway? Anyway, that's the joke in our family. So, let's see. Okay, let's go to Alvin. Anybody now have a clue? Let's say 2 months from today, Biggest Loser starts. What are you going to do the next 2 months? Yeah, you like crazy. Who said that? See, this is a strategy. See, really, a game is a strategy. A game is really about problem solving. It really is. So who said that? Eat like crazy. Let's see. I should know all your names by now. Was that you, Robert?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. You get 2 extra credit. Anyway, eat like crazy. That would be the fantastic, best strategy, and that wouldn't really matter how you're going to measure this. Well, I got to speed this thing up because we're having way too much fun here. We'll call this one up here number 1. Whoever most pounds lost wins. We'll count that one as number 2. Now, why would number 1 be so incredibly unfair? In fact, you would love number 1 if you were a contestant and fill in the blank. Okay? I'm trying to have you think critically here. And by critically, I don't mean pointing to somebody and say, hey, you're fat. Thinking critically, I mean, I want you to reason. See, this is what mathematics is all about. And this first one, most pounds lost wins, it really favors a certain type of person. I mean, it tremendously favors. And in fact, the person that won Biggest Loser wouldn't have won on this season. All right? Now, I'll open it up. Who does this favor? Or another way of asking the same question, to rephrase the question, see, in problem solving, Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It favors fat people.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And that's Shay, right?
Yeah.
Or as we would say, gravitationally challenged. So you see, let's see, Shay gets 2 extra credit. It favors very heavy people. And in fact, the 2 finalists, I don't want to drag this out too long, but I'm trying to have you I'm trying to have you see the world through mathematics. I'm trying to have you problem solve. I'm trying to have you think critically, and this is a fantastic example. So, we had Jonte. I really like yours probably the best. But I'm gonna. So I like yours the best. But the two finalists, one of the guys had a starting weight of 409, and he lost 222 pounds. Right? Now, this other person that actually ended up winning it, she only weighed 260. Really, that's not too much. By the way, here's an algebra problem. This is algebra in action. Did you know that? That's an algebra problem right there. I can't remember. So this goes along with our, this is simple algebra right in here. Who can translate this? Because I'm trying to find that. I don't want to know the answer. I want to have you translate that into algebra. Translate this 260 minus something is going to equal 105. Jonte, can you translate that into algebra for us?
260 pounds.
Okay.
Minus X equals 105.
Bingo. Thank you, Jonte. That is excellent. That is how you translate into algebra. And you say, Dr. G, you really can't remember how many pounds she lost? And the answer is no, I can't remember. Okay? I can't. I didn't do that just so we could use some algebra, right? But this is algebra in action. So to solve this equation algebraically, let's go ahead and solve that. What do you do to both sides? What would you do to both sides first, Wyatt?
Subtract 260 from each side.
That's excellent. Now, for those of you that said, I want to add x to both sides, that's perfectly okay. See, algebra is awesome because as long as you keep the balance, hey, it's all good. So if you said, I want to add x to both sides first, that's no problem. This is no problem. We're going to subtract 260 from both sides. So now I get negative x, because this actually is plus a negative x, isn't it? Minus x is the same as plus a negative x. So I have a negative x, which is the same as negative 1x, correct? And then take 105 minus 260 for me. I can tell you that's a negative number. I'll do that part. Okay, what's 105 minus 260? Rachel, you're up to bat.
The negative 155.
Very good. So this is a negative 155. A negative 155. And so what would be your next step to solve for x, Courtney?
Divide by the negative 1.
Sure. And for those of you that said multiply both sides times the negative 1, guess what? You're right as well. So you get x is equal to 155. So in other words, down here, she lost 155 pounds. Now, according to number one, who won? The guy? Let's see, I used to be good at subtract. I used to be good at math here. Let's see. I got 187. Did I do that right, Courtney?
Yes.
All right, thank you. According to criterion number one, who won? The guy or the girl? Who won, Rachel? According to criterion number one.
The guy did.
Yeah, the guy would win because he lost the most weight. He lost 222 pounds, and the girl only lost 155. Now here's the burning question. This is for $64,000 and the Buick. By the way, if you get this question right, then you get to go to Phillips University and try to collect. They still owe me money. Okay? So why did, you have to explain to me, why did the girl win? The guy lost 220 pounds. She only lost 155. Why did the girl win? All right, I'm going to open it up to anybody in Alva.
Because.
Because she found a husband now, I'm sure.
I love you guys. You're awesome. You guys are thinking outside the box. You're saying, oh, did you get to see the picture of her? She's anorexic. She's unhealthy.
Oh, no.
At 105 pounds, I could probably just about put my, I have short fingers too. I could probably just about put my finger around her upper arm. In fact, even Jillian and the other guy, when they saw her come out, they just gasped. I mean, she looks like a sick Ethiopian child that weighs 105 pounds, all right? And really, it's kind of sad. In fact, they're trying to even rethink, do we need to change the rules a little bit or something? Because, I mean, this wonderful young lady, I mean, she looked sick. She really did. She looked like she was going to die from anorexia. I don't know. Well, anyway, now you got to explain to me. Now we're going to go to Woodward. Go ahead, Courtney. Can you explain why they actually gave it to the girl, other than the fact that she looked anorexic? By the way, Jonte, she didn't meet your criterion, because that is not sexy to me, somebody that looks like a toothpick. All right. But anyway.
She needs a Coke bottle.
Yeah, she needs to have, the Coke bottle, yes. Anyway, now my wife, 63 years old, she's hot, I tell you. I'll show you pictures. Courtney, why did they give it to the lady?
Has she lost the most percentage?
Yes, it's the most percentage. In other words, criteria number 2 is what they used. So here's what they did. Now, dun dun dun, I want all of you to figure out what was her percentage weight loss, and I want you to figure out the guy's percentage weight loss. Right now. Let's see if I can find my Jeopardy music. This is Final Jeopardy right here. Let's see. By the way, if you're taking this online, I want you to do the same thing. Figure out the percentage of weight loss. Figure out the percentage of weight loss for both of these Biggest Loser contestants. This is a really good math problem. Okay? And I'll just sit here and check my email. All right, does anybody have an answer yet? I should double check these, because who knows? You might get it wrong. I gotta get my handy dandy calculator ready.
I didn't round the first one, but I think the first one was 55%, and the second one was 59.6. The girl
I
lost 59.6.
think that sounds about right. Did anybody else get those two figures? Anybody else get that? All right. See, and what they did to get the percentage of weight loss, on the first one, I got to erase some of this stuff up here. It was definitely not number 1. Oh my goodness, that would favor fat people no matter. I mean, it would be so favored. But anyway, the first one, you just take the 222 divided by the 409. Okay? So that's how you do the guy's percentage of weight loss. It's the percent of the basis. Oh, by the way, remember I showed you percent of decreased problems with stocks? This is the same thing. It's kind of like a stock dropped $222. A stock was 409. This is really important. There's the basis. This is the decrease. Okay? And it's the decrease divided by the basis, isn't it? So and by the way, they've rounded these to 2 decimal places because they didn't want any ties. No way they wanted a tie. So they took 222 divided by 409 and to 2 decimal places, unless I goof. Did anybody else get 54.28?
Yeah, that's what it was.
54.28, okay. So this is the percent of weight loss of the guy. I believe the guy was from Oklahoma. So he was runner-up, okay. The young lady, the young anorexic lady, we put what over what? Rachel. What over what? See, for the guy, we took his decrease, 222 pounds, divided by the original, 409. So how do you figure out the percentage of weight loss for the lady?
You take the 105 and divide it by 260.
That is a very good guess.
I mean,
We're-
155, sorry.
Oh, yeah. See, it's the decrease divided by the basis. It's the decrease divided by the basis. This is super, super, super important. This, by the way, is used in tax applications. It's used in percentages of use of a building, of an office, of equipment when it comes to figuring taxes. The basis is the starting or the total or the, in this case, it's starting weight, all right? So then you grab your handy-dandy calculator and 155 divided by 260, and you get 59.6. So 59.6, and it's 59.62. That was her percentage of weight loss, okay? Now, I don't want to belabor this too much longer, but it's such a fantastic, real math problem. I got another one, but I won't have time to show it to you today, okay? Maybe show you that one next week. But I like to show you these relevant math problems that are current. All right. I'm going to create a scenario on purpose, I'm going to create this scenario so that it is unfair. All right? See, this in mathematics, we call this coming up with a counterexample. So I'm trying to think of an example. And by the way, as you do this, make the numbers real easy. All right? Because you don't want to get lost in the numbers. We're talking about the logic. So we're going to say, here's your next guy for the Biggest Loser. He weighs 600 pounds. He's a big boy. In fact, they had to wheel him in on a forklift.
Wow. Oh, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Oh, by the way, Dave Ramsey just had a guess where he had a 600-pounder that lost over 400 pounds. Okay? He lost 2/3 of his weight. So if he would have been on Biggest Loser, just quickly do the math, but he would have won, right? Just think about that. This guy actually lost a little over 400, but I said we're going to make the numbers real simple. So he currently weighs 200 pounds. He actually weighs 199. He's really happy. Now, this took him 4 years to lose this 400 pounds. All right, he didn't lose this in like this incredibly short period of time like they do a Biggest Loser. Which it actually, to lose 400 pounds in 4 years is way healthier anyway. But anyway, what's this guy's percentage of weight loss? Since we're doing percents right now. All right, I'll give you all a chance to figure out his percent of weight loss. This is good stuff. Not fair, is it, Rachel? I'm having a blast.
Not really, but it's okay.
It's okay. Okay, Wyatt, what's his percentage weight loss?
66.666.
There you go. So in other words, you take his decrease, divide it by the bases, and you get 0.666666666 repeating. So that is 66.67%. So this guy would have won Biggest Loser had he lost this in the designated amount of time, but you get the point. Now, we're going to take this other person that only weighed 200 pounds. Okay? 200 pounds. And let's go with the case of, I said I'd make the numbers really simple. So over here, this person loses 100 pounds. Okay? By the way, this almost happened in this Biggest Loser. It almost happened. This scenario that I'm talking about. Now, the guy didn't weigh 600 pounds. In fact, I'm going to make the numbers because this is so incredibly unreal. This guy that weighed 600. I don't want to even do that. Okay? But I just want you to know that actually happened. It's a pretty neat story. The guy went to he's only 37 years old. The guy went to the hospital, and they couldn't fit him in any of the machines to find out what was wrong with him. That's part of the true story. Pretty interesting. Well, this person weighs 400 pounds over here, kind of like the Biggest Loser guy that came in second. Okay. This person loses 100 pounds. So in other words, they lose 50%. Okay, that's their weight loss, right? By the way, careful. It's this 100 over 200, correct?
Yes.
Not that one, right?
No.
So it's the loss divided by the basis. Very, very clear. All right, so this person had 50% of their weight loss. All right. And I mean, they are at ideal weight. I mean, this person is so short. This person is 4'3". All right? That's even shorter than me. All right, so this person's 4'3", and I mean, Jonte, this girl looks awesome. She is at her height. I mean, she is so awesome, Jonte, that I can't even tell you how awesome she is in front of my wife. Okay? That's how awesome she is.
Well, I do like short girls.
I do too. I do too. So, she is at her ideal weight. I mean, and she's not anorexic. She's just at her ideal weight. She lost 50% of her weight loss. This guy, he lost 201 pounds. This guy also happened to be 4'3". Short guy. And this is none of those short jokes, okay, John Day? Now just because I'm pretty short. You better be careful. All right. So this guy is 4'3". He loses 201 pounds. He now weighs 199. This guy is still a butterball. I mean, this guy is still, his ideal weight probably should be around 120. This guy is still about 80 pounds overweight. But according to the current Biggest Loser rules, figure out this guy's percent of weight loss. All right, take your handy-dandy calculator. Take 201. That's his weight loss. 201 divided by 400. So what did he get for his percentage of weight loss, Wyatt?
50.25.
Bingo! He wins. He wins. 50.25%. The Biggest Loser. Bum, bum, bum.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you win the $250,000. This guy is 80 pounds overweight. He's 80 pounds overweight. He looks like a butterball. He looks like the little Pillsbury Doughboy. And he wins Biggest Loser. Now do you see why there's still something messed up with the rule system? And in fact, the last 2 years, this very thing could have happened. It was close. It almost happened this year. And in fact, if that, I feel sorry for her, this anorexic girl that won, because I'm sure when she looks in the mirror, she thinks she looks good. Okay? She is sick. Really, she looks sick. But it almost happened this year. In fact, if she would have got to her ideal weight and been perfectly at her ideal weight, which John Tay, then she would have looked awesome. All right? But if she went down to her ideal weight, and this guy, the guy that lost 222 pounds, is a little bit pudgy. All right? I shouldn't talk, right, Rachel? But he's a little pudgy, okay? Just a little. He would have won. So here she would have been her perfect, ideal weight, and he's a little bit pudgy, and he would have won. So there is a third alternative. You say, Dr. G, are you going to write Biggest Loser and propose this? Well, even this one has some disadvantages. Because instead of doing it, I don't want to take any more time with this, but it shows you a real-life problem. And then we got to get on to proportions here and ratios. The third way that they could do it would be, instead of percent of weight loss of your starting weight, it would be percent of weight loss of how much you should lose. Now let me illustrate. Back in this example, okay, a doctor comes in and gives everybody a measurement of their ideal weight. They do a bone mass density test, and they do a the fat test and the water, the percentage of body fat test, and I mean the doctor comes in with all these machines, and they determine that this person up here, the 400-pounder, his ideal weight is 120 pounds. Okay? That's the ideal weight. Then they measure this young lady here, and they say her ideal weight is the 100 pounds. So 100 pounds. So here's my new rules for Biggest Loser. It's percent of the weight that you should lose. The percent of the weight that you should lose. Now, let's erase a whole bunch of this stuff. This guy over on the left. Oh, by the way, we got another algebra problem, don't we? Wow, this is working out well. Better than I thought. All right. You guys are awesome, by the way. 8 o'clock, man. This could have been a bad class, huh? All right. So minus how much is equal to 120? All right. The algebra. I got to hurry because I got to talk about. So it's 400 minus x equals 120. Solve for x. And what did you get for x, John Tay?
Got. Yeah, just look at my hand-day calculator.
That's all right. I'll wait.
280.
280. So this right in here, I'll put it in blue. This is 280. So this is what the guy should lose to be at his ideal weight. Now, we've already figured this one out over here. This lady should lose 100 to be at her ideal weight. All right. This lady loses 100% of her weight that she should lose. In other words, she loses 100% of her fat. I'm just going to simplify it and say that. So she has 100 pounds of fat, and so she loses 100%. She loses 100% of her fat. You know what I mean? She was supposed to lose 100 pounds, and she did. She lost all of it. All right. This guy over here, he was supposed to lose 280. He was supposed to lose 280. He lost 201. So when we do the math on this one, it is, he lost 201, but it's divided by 280. You see, I'm changing the basis. I'm changing the rules. I'm trying to make it more fair. So now you'll take 201 divided by 280, and you get 0.7179, or in other words, you get 71.79%. That's how much he lost of his, he loses 71.79% of his fat. So according to this rule, she wins. She wins. And she should win. See, Jonte, you have good common sense, by the way. She should win. Yeah, she should win because she is at her ideal weight. She lost 100% of her fat. This guy, the Pillsbury Doughboy guy, he shouldn't win. He only lost 71.79% of his fat. Okay? Well, there's a really good practical math problem. Now, we got to talk about ratios and proportions. Ratios and proportions. Ratios and proportions are related to percents, by the way. Because really, a percent is a ratio. A percent is a ratio. In fact, when we say a particular percent, well, let's say 71%. 71% is a ratio that means 71 out of 100. And sometimes, most of the time, I like to write ratios as fractions. But some people, they like to write ratios as 71 colon 100. I don't really like that as well. I like 71 out of 100. So I like that as a ratio, okay? Now, ratios are used a lot in real life. Ratios are used a lot. So to give my example of a ratio of 71%, let's just suppose that 71, you've talked to a certified financial planner, and they said, at your age, we put all the calculations into a formula, and 71% of your assets should be in stock. So what we're going to do is we can actually set up a ratio. Say 71% is 71 out of 100, and let's say that your current net worth. Let's dream, okay, Rachel? Your current net worth is $125,000. Is it fun to dream, Rachel?
Yes, sir, it is.
So your current net worth is $125,000. This is an example of a proportion. So in this proportion, we're going to solve for X. Now, a little bit of danger around the corner. Some of you probably remember this nice little technique called cross multiply. You can take 100 times X, and it's equal to 71 times 125. All right? Now, let me really tell you what cross multiply is. When you cross multiply, you're really, I'll put this in blue, you're really multiplying both sides times 100, and that gets rid of this, doesn't it? Then you're multiplying both sides times 125. And when you multiply both sides times 125, you actually are getting rid of this 125 right in here. That's the reason why cross multiply works. It's because you're multiplying both sides by 100, and then you're multiplying both sides by 125. So I don't want you to just memorize the magic of cross multiply. I want you to think that I want you to know why. It's okay to use cross multiply, but I want you to know why. It's multiplying the same thing, both sides by 100, then you're multiplying both sides times 125. It's just a shorter way of doing that. Well, we got to hurry. Let's see. Does anybody have 71 times 125?
It's 8,875.
Bingo! Extra credit for Rachel for being the first one to answer. So you got 100x is equal to 8,875. 8,875. And now we have to divide both sides by what, Wyatt?
100.
Yeah. So we divide both sides by 100, and so we get 88.75. Now you got to know what 88.75 was. Remember this original 125 right here? That was $125,000. That was Rachel's net worth. So this actually is in thousands. This is not $88.75. Rachel, that I'm not asking you. You don't have to tell me. It's 88. You don't have to answer this now. Is $88.75 closer to your net worth? You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. See, you need to
You already know.
Hey, I was a poor college student. I was a poor college student on food stamps, and I wasn't even embarrassed to admit it, because I knew someday I'd be
embarrassed
paying.
either. Hey, it is what it is.
That's right. I knew that I'd be paying taxes right through the nose someday, so I'm still not embarrassed. All right, so take 88.75 times 1,000 to get your actual answer. So you have to take that times 1,000 because this 125 was in thousands. That was in thousands. So you got to move the decimal point 3 places over. So your actual answer is $88,750. That's the amount of money that you should invest in stocks, Rachel, out of your net worth of $125,000. All right?
Wow.
Yeah. Now we gotta talk just a couple more things. This is about section 4.3. You guys are doing an awesome job, by the way, keeping up on your homework. I think you're doing a better job keeping up on your homework than I am posting the homework assignment. So, anyway, thank you for your patience. I finally got that posted up there last night, in case you didn't notice. Because you couldn't even hand in one of them until I got it posted. So hopefully you online students, it's not going to be that problem, because I'll have everything posted by the end of this semester. All right. Well, in section 4.3, your author goes over proportions, and he goes over this cross multiply. All right? Goes over it in detail and does word problems. Remember, on your essay quizzes, you can't put just the answer. You either have to put a blueprint or you have to put UDI. Understand the problem, devise a plan, implement the plan, evaluate the solution of the plan. So when you work your problems there in 4.3, these are the ratio and proportion problems. These are the ratio and proportion problems. Make sure that you, especially, well, for your homework too, the word problems, make sure you show your little UDI or the blueprint. Well, you guys were awesome today. Next week, I will go over another math problem that's very practical, about percent, a real-life problem from the stock market that I just calculated for my son yesterday. My son was texting me, asking me a whole bunch of things about his investments, and so, I went through and I calculated all these percentages. I'm gonna go over that with you next week. You guys are awesome, thanks so much. That's it for today. Have a great weekend.